What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll. Got an awesome show today. Going to be talking some bladder management. Have a great guest panel here for you guys. Bobby was having some family stuff going on, health stuff, so taking the day off. But we have a great panel of people here. So we'll do some introductions. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to comment, drop them in the chat. We'll definitely get to the questions and everything, and love having everybody in the conversation. So yes, I'm Shawn, C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 22 years ago now. Why don't we have Mike, you go, and then we'll let David and then Olivia can go last.
Copy
Save.
that. My name is Michael Lee. I broke my neck in March of 92, March 13th. Just had my 34th year anniversary. And yeah, I broke C5, 6, and 7, but I'm functioning at C7.
Nice, man. Yeah, Mike, it's awesome to have you on the show. I'm glad I got to have you maybe do a little bit, come back and do more of like some more
More than
personal,
happy to, brother.
so
Absolutely.
all right, David, do you want to give a little introduction?
Yes, David Washington. I'm a paraplegic. I'm L1, L2 incomplete of a car accident at 17. I am 33 years post injury.
All right, man. And then Olivia, I think, had to just dropped off for a second. She might have been getting another call. I know she got one right before. So we'll let her introduce herself in just a second. But we're going to be talking about bladder management. Oh, there she is right there. We'll get her back on, let her introduce. There we go.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I get an H and F for technology, so
You're okay, Olivia. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself too?
I'm Olivia, T10 para complete. 17 years ago, me versus car, and I won.
Yeah. All right, you guys, awesome. I'm honestly super cool, like super happy to have you guys all on this panel. This is like a fun, like you guys are all people I've known since like the start of my injury, and I've known for a long time, and I've talked to, and so it's cool. I love it.
Oh,
um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. I know the three of us have suprapubic catheters, so we will probably be talking a lot about suprapubic. David, what do you use for your bladder management?
I use a condom catheter, but I just recently got back to the condom catheter because I had surgery and I was on a super pubic. I had a super pubic before. I went back because, yeah.
Okay, so you know, so all of us have suprapubic, experiences.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. If
Yeah.
anybody you guys do have questions, we'll probably focus a little bit on that, I guess, because we all obviously have dealt with it. But then, David, you can also talk about some of the other experiences of, why you switched and stuff.
And I
So
also learned about super pubics too, so you guys would like to know.
yeah, awesome, man. So I don't know. I've talked about my bladder plenty on here. I before now, this I was the only one that had like a 24 French larger suprapubic catheter. But now I just found out friend Mike here also uses the same size catheter.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so you want to talk a little bit about your experience, why you went to that size, and then maybe even a little bit about your recent Botox experience, and then we can kind of go from
Yeah,
there.
I was 16 when I had my accident, and the main reason I chose the suprapubic as opposed to the intermittent cathing was my finger use, and also not having the hand dexterity to do the cathing, or I could, but I wasn't a big fan of it. So that's why I elected to do the suprapubic, and so I had it done a few months after my accident, and it's been 24 since then. I was about 220 when I had my accident at 16, about or actually about 210. So I mean, I don't know what the initial thought process is by the doctors to choose a size or whatnot. I don't know if it has to do with the surgical hole they put in or whatnot. So, but I've had 24 for a long time. It's been great over the years. It's definitely helped me with my independence and being able to, do things myself. I'm really big on my own self care. I do my own bladder and bowel and and all that for my level of injury. It's not to toot my own horn, but it's something that I take pride in that I'm able to do. And the super pubic has definitely helped me with that as far as independent goes.
Yeah, no, I know. Same with me, man. That was Bobby kind of when I was pretty early on. I had started with a condom catheter, and I thought that would maybe work for me, but I was having a lot of issues with leaking and just problems with keeping them like on, and just I just struggled with it for the first few months I tried it, and then Bobby kind of showed me that I could be a little more independent possibly with the super pubic. And but I actually increased. I started with, I believe, an 18, and then I went to a
Uh,
20, 22, 24 because I kept having clogging issues. So mine just kind of gradually increased. um,
gotcha.
Olivia, you want to
Yeah,
mention real quick before I know we'll get back to the Botox actually in a second.
yeah, no
Maybe just
worries. Absolutely.
maybe just if you want to mention just kind of when you got yours and why you made that decision for yourself on that.
Yeah, I was a heavier girl when I got injured, and you know, the comedy routines that happen in the hospital when everyone's trying to find the hole. And then, like, because, women, we got to be all spread eagle with a mirror. It's like this whole to do,
Yes.
and they're like, I remember Julian telling me, oh, it's like threading a earring into your earring hole. And I'm like, huh, I don't know where the hole is, though. I mean, even is it Mark from Abilities? He actually created a mirror for women that would be more functional when doing that. 'Cause I think when you know your own body, yeah, it is like just like second nature to find it. But I was heavier. I would make nurses sweat. They were like, I need a second. I'm tired. And if I'm like, if they can't find it, how am I supposed to find it? So I think about a year after my injury, I had just a traditional catheter. And then I realized, people aren't always going to be around to help me. And I went back to work, so I don't really qualify for home health. Um, so I was like, that seemed like the next best option because between that and the Mitrophanoff, which is just super invasive, it's like major surgery. I was like, this is a little bit easier. I can manage this myself and I'll have, less accidents. And if in a pinch, if something really goes wrong and it's clogged, I can do it myself now at work, at home, at a sporting event, I
Right.
can do yours too. Just let me know.
Oops.
No, yeah, that's awesome. So that's the same thing for independence, for basically for being able to
Absolutely.
your own bladder care a lot easier on your own. All right, David, what about you, man? I know you want to start with your kind of what you started with, and then why you did the super pubic for a while, and then what that was like, your
Yeah,
experience.
no worries. I got injured. I started with the condom calf, and then I got the penile implant, and then that's when I did the super pubic for like 5 or 10 years, and then I switched back because I kept having leaks, and then I recently found out that the sediment that clogs up your catheter in the super pubic, it's not sediment. It's a bacteria that's formed because of the environment in your bladder with the suprapubic that causes the stuff that clogs it up. The white stuff that you see in the actual tube is sediment. The stuff that's actually causing the actual catheter is a bacteria if, experiment between your bladder and this bacteria that clogs the catheter. So it's not sediment. It's something totally different. It's a bacteria.
Okay, that's
So that means, I guess, when if you, even if you drink a
You
ton,
can't.
I'm watching my French here, you can't drink it clean. It's there's always going to be sediment.
Correct. You can't drink it clean or nothing. So like when you have those sediments catch, it's just one of those things that is just part of the thing. There's no defense basically. Like you said, you can't outdrink it. I thought you can
Got
outdrink sediment. You can't.
okay. Yeah, so that's what I get because I get a ton of sediment too. That's why I ended up increasing mine to like the 24 French, like Mike, because I was constantly getting the clogs and stuff. And I was told I didn't know about the bacteria. I know like we always have like we always have some type of bacteria in the bladder just when having an indwelling catheter. I have heard
Mhm.
that, but I was told that what created the sediment and then also sometimes mucus. I've actually recently been getting mucus coming out of mine, as well as sediment, like long strings of mucus. I don't know if you guys have gotten
Mm.
those. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but I was told that was because of there's a foreign body in your bladder, so it's causing it to it's irritated. Obviously, it's going to cause some level of irritation, which produces the sediment. So
Yeah,
I
we
don't.
have infections 24/7, no matter what. It's just the extent and how colonized it is, and if it's going to cause AD symptoms, autonomic dysreflectics symptoms, and stuff. But yeah, if you have a suprapubic, you have a foreign object going into your body, and it's always at conflict with your body's trying to reject it in certain ways and whatnot by that sediment that Dave was talking about. That's one of the side effects of it. But yeah, no, it's always a battle. So keeping the number
And then
low
I
as far
think
as that is
bacteria
key.
doubles like every half hour. So it's like this compound
Right.
effect of bacteria. You're like, yay.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that about like in your like I use a night drainage bag since I'm 30 plus years old. Like I'll go out in public. My sense of modesty is gone being 30 years a quadriplegic. So I'll cruise around with my night drainage bag. But last time I was in for this Botox surgery, they were telling me how the bacteria, to Olive's point of how it doubles just being in the bag too. So once you get more than half of a night drainage bag full, it'll start creating bacteria in it, and I guess that's also what causes that rubbery smell from the bag itself after a while with different kinds
Oh.
of. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, that's all good information. For me, I know just keeping everything as clean as possible, as sterile as possible. Leah has been really good with. She's actually been changing my super pubic for the last year now, and I haven't had any UTIs in 2 years now since she's been doing my care. But everything is extremely like sterile environment. Like she cleans the counter thoroughly before she does anything. Before like everything is just like sanitized beforehand. So that's one thing that's helped me is just for eliminating any outside bacteria because obviously, like you said, we're going to be creating our like the urine's going to be creating bacteria. So for me, I feel like eliminating any additional bacteria is helping me.
Big time. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, and then so you want to maybe I was going to swing back and talk if you want to mention. We can talk about Botox for a minute here too, because I know we both have had kind of a little bit different experiences with that. Real quick, so
Yeah, yeah, I
so
can definitely touch on that. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I was gonna say, so you just got your first like treatment, Botox treatment, correct?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, because for the last couple years, and this is why I've been kind of out of the public realm, going to GIMP meetings and stuff like that. Pardon my, that's how I just say things. It's not derogatory towards other GIMPs, but I know I'm amongst my people. So, I had been having issues with the suprapubic to where I was have these bladder spasms, and it would cause me to void. Like I would go down just like I did when I dropped my lid to my bottle. Now I would go down and grab something, and it would trigger the spasms in my bladder. I'd get AD sensations, the tingling in the face, and starting sweating a little bit, and then I would void, and then the bladder spasms would die down, and it would flow fine through. It would flow like it's supposed to through the tube just fine. But any kind of movement and even just certain positions in bed, I was also diagnosed with like severe. Uh, what's the term, Dave? It's not scoliosis, but the
Stenosis.
back
Stenosis.
stenosis. Thank you. Yeah, and I've been having more AD and issues with that. So um, when after like 30 years, because now it's 34 years, I was starting to have these voiding incidences, and I thought it would be tied to either me putting on weight as well as the main thing I found out through talking with the doctor is just the bladder shrinking over the years, because if you're not stretching it out, you're going to end up having a smaller bladder, and Dr. Klein told me it's about like the size of a walnut right now with having that tip of the catheter in there and whatnot. There's not a lot of room nowadays for the spasms to die down and not cause that. So I went in, I got the bladder thing done a couple weeks ago now. Have not had any issues as far as the voiding. And I've had good results. The sad thing that sucks is it has to be done, I guess, every 4 to 6 months, depending on how well you take it and how well it lasts. So that part sucks because I have to go into a hospital for the procedure. It's not something I guess can normally be done in a doctor's office, but if you're quad, they like to put you in the hospital to monitor AD symptoms and all that. So but I've had a good result with it so far. That's been my experience, and haven't had any voiding, and that's been the main thing because that would in turn cause skin breakdowns or keep you from being up in your chair for a while. Because we all have had accidents and kind of kept going through the day until we could get to our place to handle it. But with skin breakdowns and being older and all that, you just got to be kind of more on your game. So
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So yeah, so that's great. I'm honestly really glad that you're having a good experience with it. And most of the people I have talked to have had great experiences with the Botox. So for
yeah,
me, I've talked about this before on here, but I tried it twice. I was going to the same doctor's office, but not using Dr. Klein. I went to see Dr. Well, I can't think of her name right now. uh,
Pereira.
yes, Pereira, yeah, Dr. Pereira, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's who did mine.
So yeah, that's okay. So that's who did mine. The first time she went in and did it, and the same thing like you've quad. I get high AD. They can't do it in the office. I have to get put under to get it done. It's like the whole surgery procedure. Um,
Right.
the first time I did it, it went okay. It did stop me from having any leaking, voiding, um, which I typically don't get all the time, but I would get at least for 24 to like sometimes 72 hours after the catheter change, like to where I would void and void and void, and then like eventually it would kind of like settle in and work for the rest of the change. um,
Right.
but so she wanted to do the Botox for that. We did, I think, half what the like max dose was, which is like I think 100, I want to say, or I can't remember the doses on it, but I know it was half of like the full dose.
I think I got like 200 myself. I think was
I think
the
200 might be the
no,
full one. So I think
yeah.
you might have got the full one. And so the first one, and it wasn't that bad, but I noticed myself, I had started to feel, I felt weaker, like in the weeks after like the procedure. And even like noticeably, like I was slower at rugby practices and like other people noticed and like I felt weaker. Transfers got harder. But it, that lasted like a couple of months. It seemed fine. And then the second time I went back in, which was like 6 months later, she gave me the full 200, like the full dose. And like within like 2 weeks after that, or about a week and a half after that, I completely actually lost like the strength to transfer. I no longer could independently transfer myself. I couldn't drive. I lost all of my independence that I had. I literally got completely weak to where I could barely push my chair. Like it wasn't even like noticeable, like, oh, you're a little slower now. It was like,
Wow.
bro, what had happened to like you can't even push the chair. Um, so it was significant
Jeez.
for me. And like I went almost that full it took me like almost 6 or 7 months after that procedure to where I could start getting some strength and was able to start transferring again. Able to start driving in small periods. I just didn't want to do it after that because for me, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I am so thin and maybe my bladder wall is thin. Somehow it got into my system. And I'm sure there's things like the second time I did it, the first time I rested quite a bit after. The
Right.
second time I did it, I got a ride home because like my brother drove me home, drove my van and I have to transfer. But as soon as we got home, I transferred myself into the couch. I hung out. I transferred, in and out like normal. I went into bed. I just did all my own normal transferring, pushing. I think I went to rugby practice like the 5 days later. So, and like I feel like doing that, like almost like whatever was in my system went to the muscles that function because the muscles I was using,
Mhm.
it like drifted to those
Yeah.
muscles like by using them. I don't know. That's my theory. But anyways, that's my
No,
experience.
no,
I
I
don't know
I
if it's
hear you.
helpful.
I was down. I was down a couple weeks after my surgery, at least just dealing, like I was just talking with David about how like it I don't know if it was the medication as well too, like my bowels were like impacted, I guess, from the pain medication, all that, but it took me about a week and a half to feel decent afterwards. So I can relate on that front. And if you were pushing yourself, you definitely probably lowered your ability to fight off anything that could have transpired or whatnot. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. That was my own theory on it because the doctor they kept telling me, "Oh no, that's not going to happen." But I have read stuff from people online, and I even talked to another rugby player that said they had a similar effect. They're stronger in rugby. They're a higher functioning player. Lee Mercado, he's like a I, some people know he's a lot stronger than I or but he
Right.
said yeah, he lost strength, but not to the ability where it lost his independence because he's had a lot more function to start with. um, but he did say he noticed that, and then read other people online said the same thing, so I know it can happen. I just so that's why I do like to share that just in case for people if that happened to
Oh,
them.
absolutely. Yeah, no, both sides is important for people to make knowledgeable and educated decisions, man. That's what this show's great doing. So I'm stoked to be here to give at least this side of view.
Yeah, no, I know, and it did work super effectively for stopping bladder spasms. Like I would get the catheter changes, and I did not. I would immediately start flowing through my suprapubic and have no leakage even in that initial time right after the change. See
Yeah,
now,
I we all experience that.
so I'll actually one thing that I've changed in the last couple years with Leah, and I don't know how you guys feel or what you guys do on these routines. I used to never want to do bowel care and a suprapubic change in the same day. Like I would never do the change after bowel care. Like it just was seemed like it was just it all gave me AD, so I didn't want to do it. But now I've realized actually if I do my catheter change in the morning before my bowel care, so I'll do the catheter change, I'll get up, I'll eat breakfast, sit for a little bit, and then I'll do my bowel care and shower. I typically won't have any leaking after I bowel care and shower. Like it relieves all the gas pressure, all the bloating, everything that's around that. Like empties me. I feel like, and then the hot water from the shower relaxes the bladder, softens the catheter, which my urologist said that yeah, I use latex catheters, so hot would soften it slightly. And that's one
Right.
thing. And then I usually a lot of times won't get leaking. I still do sometimes. Like I from time to time, like even on this last one, I will leak sometimes through that day. And then a lot of times the next time I do, if it's bad, like if I'm having a lot of irritation or whatever the issue might be in the bladder, um, by the next time I do a bowel care, it clears. So I stop leaking.
I,
I don't,
I I got a question. When you leak, do you get AD symptoms or is it just leaking from it just being there? Like just all of a sudden you go, oh shit.
Now I get AD symptoms. It'll build up, and I will get sometimes pretty mild, but sometimes it's strong. Like I'll get a full blown like headache and blotches. Like I'll get stomach and chest will
Right.
get blotchy. Like I'll be having high levels of AD while I'm leaking. And the other weird thing is during that, and I'd really love to hear from you guys too on this. The first like 24 hours of the change when it does leak, like when it is doing the leaking, it won't flow through the tube like it's I don't know if you guys can if you have your tube you can see it like
Mm,
if I'm breathing I can see the urine moving in that first period of time when it's leaking. It won't move when I breathe, it won't push out, it won't flow, it'll be stopped, and then my AD will build and it'll force through like the bladder spasming it and pushing, like my bladder's filling, I think possibly, and
right.
then spasming and forcing it all through. It's not flowing on its own. Do any of you guys experience that, um, or any of those things I'm just talking about?
I do. I'm gonna let them talk because I've been jibber jabbering a little bit much, but
Yeah,
let them go first.
Olivia. Yeah, you want
And
to?
I always wonder if it's because I am a heavier person and I do have more than the typical parabelly. I always wonder if it's getting pinched inside my body. Like I don't know exactly the route is where they I guess to create the hole towards your bladder. I don't know exactly how it resides, so I'm always curious if I'm long sitting and I bend forward to stretch, am I pinching it or clamping it off?
Right.
Because it's either sediment. or it's me clamping it with my own belly. I'm my own worst enemy, you know?
Yeah,
But
I
going
know
back to
about
your point about the durability or the denseness of a catheter, like I think I was trying different ones just so that my body wouldn't get so used to one kind of material between silicone and latex. I do prefer the clear ones because I can see what's happening when it's, a darker, like those red robins, or like the dark or the light blue or the orange rubbery types. It's like I know it's working because I can see urine leaving, but I can't see what's flowing through it. Because I mean, I'm a weird person. I'm a picker. I'm a face picker. I pick my scabs, whatever. But I would sit there and like coax the catheter. Like I would put like just a rubbing alcohol swab and just kind of like run the catheter through just to push through any sediment that was building up in the catheter. Whether that helps or not, who knows? But it's like if I see it building up, kind of like the way plaque builds up on an artery, that can cause a heart attack. I'm like, I wonder if it's limiting the amount of flow leaving, your bladder. But I never thought about, the showering part and it kind of warming up and getting softened. So I'm always curious about the density because I think I was telling you before, the my supplier was sending me these really cheap ones out of nowhere, and I'm like, I know the way hospitals work. They want to find more bang for their buck, so they're going to send the cheapest thing they can find that's supposed to be comparable. And this thing was so flimsy that if my bag got too full, it would literally like detach from the catheter, and it would like that one would get clamped and pinched if I moved the wrong way. So if you find a catheter you like, I would try to write the item number down, whether it's the line item from your invoice, from your supplier, or from the actual, the packaging. But they all have line items within a supply, a DME supply company. So if you find one that you really like, and if they happen to not be able to send it because it's maybe back ordered, keep that one on hand, that line item on hand, so you can keep trying to see if that one's coming back or not.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dave.
I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry, but I was gonna say no. That's great advice. Yeah, that's perfect. I would suggest that to anybody. When you find the stuff you like, save what it is, because that's what I've done. I've used the same catheter for 15 years now. I think, like the exact same catheter.
It's called the
Dan,
flute catheter.
yeah. So I've tried other ones. Like I've tried like the silicone ones. Give me way bad irritation, and I won't stop leaking. I keep getting AD and leakage like the whole time. So yeah. Um, but anyways, I've talked a lot. This. So David, you wanna why don't you share a little bit
No,
of yours if you've had
I,
any of those?
I like the super pubic because, like, you get free hang and all that stuff. But for me, I kept leaking. I couldn't understand why. Like,
Mm.
if you get the little extra strap that keeps the tube on your leg perfectly to your tube, to the side, it's like I would just kept leaking. I was like, all right, I'm good. I do like it for like the sex part of it, but for some reason I keep leaking it. I didn't know why.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was definitely one of my reasonings for getting it when I was 16 as well too, was keeping Mr. Happy free from any kind of action that way, and that was definitely a motivating factor for having it as well. And it's been beneficial on that side of things for sure. I did have a question though, to you, Sean, in reference to the different types of suprapubic catheters, because I think I'm using like the old school barred ones, and they're definitely like a thicker latex and whatnot, but it seems to retain that freaking, or starts producing that rubbery smell that the night drainage bags do, and even the other bags. Do you get less of that, or difference with the different type of catheter? I've always wanted to know if that, because my catheter itself will retain that rubber smell. The plastic hose that goes to the night drainage bag is fine, but the bag itself will put off that rubber smell as well. So I'm just ignorant on that.
For me, I haven't tried enough to other ones to really know. Mine,
You've
I
been locked
notice a
in.
little bit of smell. I do because I use the same. They're like the thicker, full latex. Oh, Leah brought me one. Oh, two of them actually. The different kind. So this is the one I use. It's a straight old school Bard, or Bard X is whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's the one.
That's,
Yeah, it's just a Bard company. It's a 24. And the other thing about the ones I use is I only use the 5 cc balloon. The big balloon will mess my bladder up too. I'd be curious
right.
on that for you
Even on a
guys.
10 cc, I'll only fill it halfway usually. But
Yeah. No, that's I only fill mine to 8 also. So that's the other. I fill it because it goes to the 10. It says 5 cc, but it's 10 mil. So it does the 8 milliliters what I do. But as far as smell, I do get a little bit of smell. Like I don't. I always thought it was more coming from my catheter site. Sometimes I feel like the site is what smells, but maybe
mm,
it's more the tube or like the inner part that's like wearing. I'm not sure, but when it gets damp, maybe a little more like the inside of it does smell. I feel like so on the latex ones, it's kind of the darker orange, but the part that goes in you turns almost white, and then
yeah, 100%.
there's
Yeah.
like a section of it that comes out of you. Like
Hmm.
for me, that's also still white because I think like when I'm laying, at least it's not in my body. When I'm sitting,
100%.
I think it is in my body. It's like it's
Right.
moving in there, or whatever. So that's what I think maybe smells is that part that's kind of exposed on the catheter. But I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
definitely, you get the yeast aspect
But
of it for sure.
so that might be. As far as the bags go, I don't notice too much of a rubbery smell, but I'll notice sometimes like more like some of them won't hold the urine smell as well. Like I'll smell urine through the bag a little more. Um,
Yeah, that's probably
that's
just
like
my, same thing.
so
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what bags do you use? Like the bedside bags for any of you guys?
I mean, I've like right now I'm using a Cardinal Health one. Dover, I guess is the company. Um, and it seems to be pretty good. It's one of those ones with the round emptying system where you flip the switch and it releases the hose, so it's skimp friendly on that level as far as being able to empty it, quad friendly, I should say. Um, but No, it's definitely a urine. It's not the bag that puts off the smell by itself, because when it's brand new, it's fine and whatnot. But you're right, it's the urine that goes through it, and some bags I've noticed promote it faster, but it also depends on what bug is growing in you as well. So it could be that's causing it. So I've learned that changing everything, my hardware, every couple weeks, as opposed to the once a month I was told to do it when I first had it back in '92, has helped me tremendously cut down on the smell and also the infections and any AD symptoms that I've had. So that's been beneficial.
No, yeah, that's also anything that helps. Like anything that cuts down on the symptoms, I think is great. So yeah, no, that's so for real quick, I'll just show you guys. This is the bag that I like to use. It's the Bard bag, and again, it has a pretty fairly easy. I can open the thing using my like heel of my hand. I can kind of release the little clasp and open to empty. Um, and those ones I feel like contain the smell a lot better. They ran out of those last month and sent me these True Cath ones.
Uh
These ones
True
reeked.
Cat, that's the one.
These
They're
ones reeked.
awful.
Yeah,
huh.
these ones stunk.
Those are the terrible catheters. Don't use them.
Okay, and that's
Okay.
funny because that's
Good.
what I was going to show. They ran out of my catheters and they sent me two True Cath silicone coated latex
Those are the
catheters.
ones. No.
And it feels super lightweight. It's like half the weight of my catheter, and it feels very
Right.
flimsy. But I don't know. Yeah, so, but that I think the quality of the bag goes a long way because those Bard ones, I will sometimes notice a smell after. I usually use them for a week. I get 4 a month, so I use them for like 7 days, basically.
Oh,
Um,
nice. I get
you know,
two.
so I'm able to switch those every week. So like, but by the seventh day, they start to smell. They do start to smell by
Gotcha.
the end of the week. Those True Cath ones
Yeah.
smelt by day two. Like they smelt by like right away almost. So
Just
Yeah.
just throw them in the trash. Like, straight in
yeah.
the trash. No, but I also wonder if it's like when you get a UTI and your urine gets really pungent. I wonder if it's acidic or if it's affecting the material in the catheter, whichever one you're using. I always wonder if that affects the way it retains the smell because sometimes like I'll change the catheter and all of a sudden the smell is gone and I'm like, oh, it's a different catheter, no more smell. So weird. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
No, me
and
and
then I
David were
was
talking about that on the bag front, that how the bag retains it no matter what. Even if you use that Urolux cleaning solution and all that, you could freaking soak it for days and that and whatnot, but it'll still have the Urolux itself too. Remember, David? It
Yeah.
freaking just smells chemically and nasty too. Like why did I even clean this with this freaking ass smelling cleaner? Alpine was better
you're
for
like, it
me.
smells worse now. No,
Yeah. Oh no, it's a chemical rubbery urine smell. That's rad. All the people are gonna love hanging out with me now.
I know we should have a whole video just singing about this.
So true.
But so going back to so they sent me one on a whim, and I never thought to look for different catheters, but it's by Coloplast. Let me see if I can put it. But it's called the Follicle. Let me see this on camera. So it's Coloplast, and it's called Follicil,
Okay.
and it's kind of hard to see because it's a clear catheter, but the insertion part it curves up. It's pointed, and it has like a curve. And I don't know if that helps with emptying or not, but it is a very durable material, so it doesn't squeeze shut. It's been doing me wonders. I went from changing every 2 weeks to every 3 weeks, but I still ask for three a month because those True Calf ones had me changing like every 4 days. I'd have accidents. I'd have them like fall off the bag, and I was like, I
Oh,
told them, I said, you need to remove this manufacturer from your list of products because they're awful. Maybe if someone just has prostate issues and wants to clear it out once in a while, but if it's for someone like us, where it's going to be a part of our body and indwelling, give us a little something, a little more, I don't know, zhuzh.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really glad I didn't. I have those two. Luckily, I kind of knew the supplier told me they weren't going to have the right catheters, and then we were about to move out here. So I made an appointment with my urologist, went in there, and he gave me like five just in the office just of my catheters that I like. So that was awesome.
And
Actually
and
made
I
me
keep
really
extras in
impressed.
my office now. So if anyone's in the Miracle Mile area and you have catheter issues, they're 18 French. They might be small, but I have a whole setup at work. And I can find you a private place. I'll be your catheter stop.
Yeah, that's good, man. To have extras is really, really important because that's what when you start to
oh
get to
yeah.
where you're on every catheter you're changing, like, and so if something happens in the catheter change where it comes out, gets dirty, that sometimes they've malfunctioned and stuff even. So like I've had
You definitely need to have a bag in your van or your vehicle of extra parts just in case, because it's always life saving. Whether Olive is, offering to help other people, you have that to give, but also for yourself. Like I have had it where I'll transfer and I'll forget my night drainage bag. I didn't hook it up to my chair or something like that. And then I'll run over it and I'll just hear crunch, crunch. I just emptied it. And then I hear like, oh, dude. So thank God I have that another one in the van to switch out real quick, So I've had incidences where I've broken something out and about and like totally MacGyver to like a normal shopping bag and put that in there. So if where it leaked, where I crushed the bag, it would drop into that. And it was just like definitely worth having extra stuff in just a bag so you don't have to do that kind of stuff out and about because Murphy's Law, it's going to happen to all of us that, you're going to need something better to be prepared instead of not.
yeah.
Okay, wait, who's got a good MacGyver story about their catheters?
I was gonna say I've had to one time. Same thing. I was on a rugby trip, I only brought like as I got older, learned to bring extra bed bags in case. But I only had brought the one for the weekend, and something was wrong with like that. It wouldn't clasp at like it wouldn't close the little thing.
Oh
So
no.
it basically did exactly kind of like I put the trash can from the bathroom in there with a bag, and just like I had it hung like I normally would off the bed, and then just stuck that into the trash can on the side of the bed. So basically, it went through the tube into the bag. Everything that leaked out went into the bag that was in the trash can. and it was
Right.
sort of easy enough for my brother to be able to empty it and dump it in the
Yep.
mornings, like, and then I could change it to the leg bag and was okay for the day. But but yeah, that's a bring the extras.
Totally.
Or Ziplocs. I don't know.
There you go.
David, what about you, man? Any experiences like that or anything like that?
I remember I went to Amsterdam. I was flying for I think 10.5 hours, and I had to use the bathroom in the airplane. And my, like how your bag is starting to fill, and where it's kind of like you need to empty it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it put me on a little chair and pushed me, and they pulled out the bathroom. The bathroom comes out like another 3 feet or 4 feet, and then you go in, and yeah, that was my one MacGyver time where it's like I can't have an accident in this airplane, and I'm in across the in so yeah.
Yeah, that's been
International
yeah,
relations. I don't know.
that is a
Yeah,
scary.
and my doctor only gave me one catheter. I'm like, I'm going to Europe for like 2 weeks. He's like, and like, just give me more just in case. And ended up clogging in Atlanta, and I had to have my mom fed exit to me to Atlanta. It was crazy. So yeah,
Oh man, that's a
take
yeah,
extra.
yeah, that's a pain in the ass, man. That's especially being international like that. That's definitely. I feel like at least I actually another time I can remember I actually was in Vegas at a tournament and was able to go to like a medical supply store. Just looked it up after the games one of the days. Was able just to swing by because we drove there, so I had a van. It was easy enough to like do. But international, man, that's a little different.
Yep.
Someone named Jay asked about if anyone used a valve with their suprapubic, and I mean, there's a valve on the bag if you're talking about the bag, but I've never used one on the catheter itself.
That's what I think he's
So
talking. I highlighted that. I started that, and I was going to go back to it. So thank you for
I
reminding me.
think they do sell. I used to use the plugs because I didn't want a bag when I was in first in my injury. I was like I still wanted to be normal, and I was kind of embarrassed to have a bag on my legs. I have a thick legs, and I'm like, now I have extra thick legs. But so they have catheter plugs. So I would use the plugs, but then I was going through that issue of like my letting my bladder fill up, and then all of a sudden having a spasm or bending over to pick something up, and I'm like, oh, that's an accident.
Yeah.
But I don't know about valves, but I know about plugs.
I know
Yeah,
about the valves, the switch for like the lower leg bags. I always would get those as like a extra thing for like the Eurocare lower leg bag that I would
yeah.
strap on with the Velcro straps, and then have that quad friendly switch because I don't have the dexterity to twist the little valve at the bottom and then piss all over, just fill your boot up with urine because it freaking is right there. It's like, no, that valve with the extra hose I've always had, if that's what he's referring to, I've used those, and those are definitely
Still
friendly
use it.
because they have they're quad friendly because they have the, either you can put something in the circle that they have, or you just stick your nail and are able to flip those valves a lot easier.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm reaching out to Mark Fugel then later. Mark, make something for us.
yeah. No, that's what I use the same that quick release valve for my leg bags, and full disclosure, since being out in the desert, I haven't even used my leg bag. I've just been rolling around my bed bag like every day. I just yeah, we're not going anywhere.
Dude,
We're
you're
on the,
preaching to the
all the
choir, bro. Preaching to
parties.
the choir.
I'm just rolling. So where am I going right now? I have a stockpile. I used to. That's one thing that's actually wild. For until like 2 years ago, I bought all my leg bags. I bought them. I bought two a
Oh, wow.
year. Used them 6 months a piece because they were $100 a piece for the full leg bag, quick release
Oh,
valve, and strap. It would be a hundred
Yeah,
bucks. So it's $200 a
yeah,
year I was spending on leg bags. And now I have a stockpile of like 8 in the closet because like haven't been using them as often, especially with this move and everything going on. I'm just like screw it, dude. We're gonna be in the car 4 hours today. I'm not changing my bag. We're gonna be hanging
yeah.
out at the house doing stuff. I'm not changing the bag. So
Yeah, you get a freaking thousand more cc's of freaking freedom, bro. I'm all for it.
so yeah, that's what we'll see when I start going out in public again. I do want to start wearing the leg bags again. Some.
Yeah,
so we're gonna
I
get
haven't
live
been
to
wearing the
roll
bag, but
stickers.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought
I've
about
They
got
just
the
say let it
little
all hang
cover
out.
bags.
that's a good
Nice.
one. Well, I was actually going to think about making like the Live Roll little like bag covers, like like a little cool, like a little bag cover, because a lot of people do rock the bed bag. Like I feel like that's pretty common, especially for quads. Um, so
Yeah,
so yeah, the
like
nice.
they're like I've got one of these medical bags, or that are supposed to be for night drainage bags to go into, like if you're out and about and rolling around. So I mean, it just slips in there, but I still have the hose going in there, or I mean, I'll have it hanging in between my feet. It's just like, that's where I just totally not giving a rat's ass
Yeah,
about what people think.
yeah. No, I know. That's
And
what.
you definitely get to an age where you're like, so there's comfort, and then there's what you think is socially acceptable, and then you're like, I cannot keep changing things every few hours so people don't stare at me. Like they're gonna stare no matter what. You're in a chair, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, you want to talk? Let's have a conversation. Come sit with me. Come sit.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. As
no, I
long as
know.
you're not an angry gimp, the ones that are like, no, I can do everything like that. It's no wonder people are afraid to come up to and offer help. And even if I don't need it, it's like, thank you for the offer. I got it, but man, appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. It's
No, I know.
crazy
That's
how
what
people.
I've gone through periods like phases of like where like I'm like where it's like sometimes that feels great when somebody's asks if they want to help, and then other times I am frustrated where I'm just like where it feels just too like I don't know like I just feel
Sympathetic
yeah.
or
But
virtue signaling on their end. That's the worst.
yeah, no, I know that's what I was just we were talking about this before too. And like that's the thing is like I don't mind like some of the things people come up and like say they want to pray on you or pray for you, like that's great. I hate it when people will tell me things that like that if I pray like I just need like if all I need to do is that to walk again.
Oh yeah, no. I was saved at 16 in a
Like,
freaking Baptist church.
like,
I
thank
I,
you.
I hear you, brother, on
I
that.
get
No,
like
that's
I understand. But yeah, no. So those are like that's just where sometimes I'll feel like somebody's going to be a little bit too something, but I've tried to dial that back now. And like Leah said, just be nice, and people are usually just being kind, and want to be helpful. So uh,
I saw something that one of the people wrote, and they were talking about, because before I did the Botox thing, I was really thinking of the is it the uroscopy, or what is it that everyone is like that? I know a couple of
well,
our
you're
friends.
lost in me.
Yeah, that.
Eric in the
And
chat. Yeah.
so it's he said that he had switched to it, and it was one of the best decisions he had made. I think he said 20 years he had the catheter or the suprapubic itself. So I was just curious, what are the benefits to that? Because I was throwing that around in my head before doing the Botox. And if we're talking about bladder management, I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
No,
I
honestly,
wonder if it's similar to the Mandrophanoff though, or if it's the same procedure. I'm
I
curious.
believe so. I actually know a girl. Dang, I can't think of her name right now. I'm sorry. Feel bad. She's a quad. She used to do workouts videos with the Zoop Fitness thing that I used to do for. Um, she lives out in Texas. If I think of it, I'll remember. But she had a urostomy, and I remember she had mentioned it. We had talked about it a little bit, and I was really curious. But I believe, and if Eric wants, he can. I believe they actually remove the bladder entirely, and basically you're directly like a colonoscopy is just straight to your intestine. I think it's like straight from like your kidneys, like and there's no
Hmm.
bladder, like so the bladder doesn't fill up. There's no they remove the bladder. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, so please, if I am wrong, just tell me in the chat. But that is what I remember she had said. Um, yeah, that they did.
I'm reading online. It says the difference between the one of the main differences with the urostomy. I don't know about the removal of the bladder part, but it's a consistent drainage, like having a leg bag. But the Mitrophanoff, when they usually they put it like near the belly button, so it's not really noticeable. But the
Oh,
Mitrophanoff, you can still
got
allow your
that.
bladder to fill.
Right.
Yeah, so you can
Gotcha.
intermittent cath through your belly button.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. That's okay. That helped with my ignorance.
Yeah, so that's where they basically give you like a second urethra space, like a different canal to be able to access
Right.
through intermittent cathing. So that's like it's not like a constant drain like a suprapubic or the urostomy, I believe would be. But
That makes sense. Okay.
And then the urostomy creates a stoma on your wherever they place it. So I wonder if you'd have to keep like the clear plastic film like you would with like a colostomy bag. I'm wondering if that's something you need on there too.
yeah, that I don't know actually. So Leah has I think Leah has some knowledge on it because she's done caregiving for like 20 years, even before we had met. Mostly elderly care, but obviously, elderly deal with a lot of the same issues we do it later in life. But she says
Yeah, no
sometimes they
doubt.
remove the bladder and sometimes they don't need to. Uh, so yeah, I guess but
Okay.
so I'd love to get more information, and maybe I will try to do a show. If Eric in the chat wants to send us a message on Instagram or email at Shawn@livetorol.org or contact@livetorol.org. Yeah, I'd love to have a show on with some people maybe that have had that. It'd be great. Um, but yeah, all right, guys. We're already getting to the hour. Bladder, I feel like is one of the easiest things for me to talk about. Like, I don't know why, but it's just
Oh yeah.
It's of our world. Gotta talk about it.
it's what talking about it.
It's the center of our world. Bladder will determine if you're going out that day or staying home. Wouldn't you agree? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So
But it's funny going back to what you talked about, like sexual wellness. I thought it was interesting because for women, we have a separate hole that it goes in. For men, you guys are like a one stop. Everything comes out of one
It is
hole.
different. Yeah. It's,
We got to pick and choose one, you know?
True.
no, I know
But
that.
fun story before we go though. Um, I first met David and Michael at the old core gym, and I was like staring at David. I'm like, why do I know this face? It's a very like, you know, unique face. And I was like laughing because it turns out we went to elementary school together. Like we knew each other when we were like 10
That
years old,
it was Christian.
right? And I was like, that's crazy because I found my old yearbook and I sent him his photo, you know, and I'm like, how ironic, not ironic, how crazy that we would both end up in chairs at some point. Him a lot younger than me, but at
Yeah,
some
yeah.
point we're like, oh, we're at the same gym. Wait,
And also Anthony. Anthony's also from Village Christian too. We're all there.
really? That's
Anthony
fun. Now I have to talk to Anthony.
and
That's
Anthony
wild.
Yeah.
ran with Village Christian.
That is
Well,
wild.
I
You guys.
got a quick question about the different since we're talking about suprapubics and whatnot. Water intake. Like today, it's warm, so it's easier to drink. But usually, when like fall comes around, it's tougher to have the desire to drink and whatnot. Like I the thing I found is like crystal light sweeteners and stuff like that to add to water. So that's what I do. I was just wondering if any of you have like other tricks on how to drink water, like when you know you need to like if you're fighting a UTI or something of that sort.
I
Green
take a
tea.
ton of supplements. I take like 25 caps a day, so I'm not. There's no lack of
You
water
do?
for me. It's a good diet trick. You're never hungry because you're full of supplements.
Yeah.
But going back to what you're saying about winter, I always tell people, look, you're drinking more alcohol, more coffee and cocoa to stay warm. You know, you're
Yeah.
drinking hot drinks with caffeine. You're dehydrating yourself even more. So, you know, I always tell people sprinkle a little gray salt in your water to help with the water retention in your body, you know?
Oh, okay.
And then someone said avoid like high salt intake because it causes, I haven't read up on this, but they said that it causes calcium to leach. And that's part of the minerals that end up with the bacterial sediment that David was talking about. And
Hmm.
so when I have a UTI, I cut down on salt a lot. Um, I do have my like electrolytes, but that is salt. But I try to be mindful of how many snacks I'm eating with salt or whatnot, because everything's salty.
Well, and sugar though, shouldn't sugar's like bad, doesn't it? Feed the actual infection
Feed
itself? Because I mean,
bacteria.
I drink coffee with creamer, and then I've noticed that it freaking usually grabs me by the boo
Well,
boo in a couple hours.
yeah, and to make a connection with AD, I remember once I had a infection, like some kind of viral infection, and I was talking to my physical trainer at the time, and he greatly reduced the amount of aerobic exercise I did. And that's, I was thinking about Kyle, when he was pushing so much with like rugby and, I mean, I know he had other things going on like physically, but I thought about how my physical therapist had made a comment about you're also aerobicizing the bacteria. So you're also increasing like circulation of the bacteria if it's like as bad as you think it is. So to
Right.
like to ease up on aerobic exercise when you do have a bad infection because it could circulate it through your system much faster if you did like more high intensity cardio. Just food for thought.
Yeah.
Huh, no,
No,
yeah,
no
that's
doubt.
interesting. I don't know if I've heard that. Let's try to look into that.
IV.
Same.
Okay.
And yeah, other people mentioned like liquid IV or crushed lemon, like keeping water
Lemon
close by.
nuts, salt.
Yeah, orange,
Yeah.
slightly salted nuts and water. That's one thing. So for winter, I do the same thing. I don't drink nearly as much when it's colder, and I have tried reminders in my phone to try to like see if that helps. Like
Doesn't
it'll take.
overcome the desire of the like ugh like that the I can't drink anything right now even though my phone's telling me to, but the side snacks and stuff of that sort, that's the thing I'm trying to get better at is oh, I got freaking seaweed freaking little things that are like freaking um they're a seaweed snack. There's like 10 sheets of like a small seaweed thing. I've
Mhm.
noticed that's helped, and it's a low cal intake type thing. It's a healthy option instead of like a bag of potato chips, which is normally my MO. I'm like, doing the wrong thing to treat myself, just by trying to drink more water, but I'm eating crappy snacks to achieve that desire. So
I love seaweed snacks, but I'm Asian, so I throw rice with it, and that's not helping me either.
right, carbs.
Cook your rice with coconut oil.
Okay,
Then you put it in
I'll
the
try
refrigerator,
that.
and then after the 12 hours, it cuts the sugar spike by 30%.
Really?
I want to
Yes.
peek into David's mind because he's so knowledgeable.
I know. I'm still going to
Oh,
have
yeah.
David for a martial arts meditation episode. So
You
training your
should.
body. I know.
Get us moving, Dave. Get us moving.
We're now that we're kind of getting sort of settled in the house at least, and I got my space internet hooked up, good to go. So try to get some shows planned out and going.
Nice. Oh
So,
yeah.
but yeah, no, those are
Absolutely.
both. What, Mike?
Oh, I said absolutely. That'll be great once you guys get freaking settled in there and moving forward and whatnot. I'm looking forward to the new content coming out.
Yeah, hopefully I can. Right over my shoulder here is that hand cycle I got some grants for that Bobby has the same one that Bobby uses. Hoping I can start using that out here. Just gotta get that set up soon.
Nice.
But that'll be
Heck yeah.
fun. Cool riding through the desert. I don't think I'll be having any house parties, Chad.
That you know of.
That I- yeah, well, we do have some area for camping and stuff in the future. Maybe we'll see. Get some people want to come out here and camp on the property.
Oh,
Try to
that'd be
set some
sweet.
accessible areas up. um,
That's
but all
cool,
right,
though.
yeah, David's in.
Yeah, I like that. You got 5 acres. You got
Yeah,
room.
dude, that's it. Yeah, no, it is quite a bit of land. Honestly, it's like more than we've quite even realized. I haven't been able to explore the whole back half of it yet because it's a little terrain's a little sandier than I can make it through. Got to get some fatter tires, better power assist.
There you go. Start having jumps in the back where Russell's going down freaking hill and freaking chair and Durbin with his motorcycle buddies and stuff too. Have a half pipe in the back.
Uh,
Doing chair rail slides.
chair.
We can AI that whole thing, right?
That's
Exactly.
exactly. That's more likely.
Oh,
Okay,
I wanted to let your folks know that if they have any questions or anything like that, I'm at Quadboy on X, so they can hit me up there if they have any questions and whatnot, or any stuff that we don't know, we can find out together and whatnot, because it's all about knowledge and figuring this stuff out. So I'm
sweet.
all
Yeah,
for
I
it.
will send me that if you can. And do you have an Instagram or no? Just X? Because I put Olivia and David's Instagram in the description if you guys
I
want to
think I have
follow
Instagram. I
them.
just don't use it that much, but I mean, I definitely
Well, I'll put your
would.
X
Yeah,
in there. Just let
I'll
me know.
get you both. Yeah,
Send me the
yeah, I
link
can
and
get it.
I'll drop it in there so if people want to reach out to
Okay,
you.
cool.
But all right, guys,
Very-
let me go ahead and do our little wrap up here since it's already actually been past the hour. But go ahead and thank our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a local DME here in Southern California. So if you need a new wheelchair or commode or standing frame, anything like that, any of that major equipment, give them a call. They'll come out, get you measured up, figured. They're even going to drive all the way out to me in the desert, like 3 hours from their office, to bring me my chair in about a week or so. So I will show you guys the new chair once I get that too. But also, Urology Professionals is their sister company. They are nationwide. So if you guys need catheter supplies anywhere in the greater U.S. area, they can ship them directly to your doorstep and get everything worked out with insurance. They're a great company, great people. Some of our friends definitely work there in chairs. They know what it's like, and they also do a lot to support the community, local events, Triumph Foundation, and things locally around here. So we appreciate them.
Sweet.
All right, and then Thursday, I actually don't have a show put together yet. I'm trying to put like a little extra bonus show together. This is the week we normally would have the women's show, but we're still working on a new panel of women. So if anybody's interested in that, also has any ideas, message us. So Leah and I are trying to work on that. So.
Okay.
um, but yeah, think that's about it for the show. Make sure you guys do follow Olivia David, and I'll add Mike's information in below so you guys can follow them, ask them any questions if you guys want to message them, anything like that. And I know I'll have you guys all back on anyways sometime soon.
Well, since we don't have Bobby, I'll just say, don't forget to hit the like button. We love having you here.
Like and subscribe. Thank
Exactly.
you. Yes.
Like and
Appreciate
subscribe.
Click the notification button. All of the above.
And that's what I do appreciate. You guys are all awesome because you guys are all pretty actively in the chat and watching stuff like that. So that's what's also cool is that's what this is all about. We're all one community. We're all in the chat from the show. We're all just we take turns. Just
Yeah. If we can learn without having to freaking do it ourselves and learn the hard way, all more power to everyone, because there's a lot of us that have been there before, or are doing it better than us old folks, and we can learn from it. So let's
Heck
keep
yeah.
doing it.
No, I know. That's awesome, man. That's what even one of our viewers and supporters, a friend Glenn, he's been injured 50 plus years from the Burbank area. Also, I don't know if you guys know him, but he, same thing. He said like he started watching the channel and he learned stuff all the time. He's 50 years post injury, and like that's what
Yeah.
we all learn from each other. I've learned stuff from people that have been injured 6 months. Like sometimes people just think differently. So
Yeah.
and real quick, I wanted to shout out. Chad mentioned it in there. We unfortunately will not be there this year. The LA or the now Long Beach Abilities Expo coming up in about a week and a half, I think. Here now, we will not be there, but Chad from Chair Life from our channel, he will be
Oh,
there, booth 915, and I'm going to be sending. Oh, later, David, and I'm going to be sending him some of our Live to Roll materials. So if you guys need the little parking things, AD cards, and any other just the main show stuff, go to the Chair Life booth, check out his
Okay.
hookets, his lap trays. He got some really cool stuff. He's a quad, cool dude coming out here from Texas. And you can also catch him on the second and fourth Thursday of the month on Rolling Over the Hill with Bobby. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to finish up with or mention?
Hope to see some of you at the expo.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully, you guys will get to see. That's why this will be the first year not being in there for a while, but it's a 3+ hour drive for us now, and we need to get
Yeah.
settled in out here. And yeah, so this year is off, but hopefully
Yeah,
everybody has fun. You guys can. It's an awesome event, great community event for you guys to network, meet people, see a bunch of the new stuff. So check that out.
that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually going. Like I said, it's the last couple of years I've been battling the voiding issue. So getting out and about, I've always had a blast going there, and it's still over 2 days, right? It's
Yeah,
like a
it's
two
for
day
three
Yeah.
days:
weekend event.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I think it's the 27th,
Right
28th,
on.
and 29th, I believe, is the dates. So the end of the month here coming up.
Very cool.
But all right, guys,
Sweet.
thank you all for watching. We appreciate you very much. See you guys on Thursday, and next Tuesday we'll be back for another Live to Roll Live. And yeah, live to roll, everybody.
Take care.